Chosen one, stop scrolling. This is not a coincidence. This is not just another video. This is the moment the chains begin to crack. There has been a weight on you for years, a pressure you couldn't explain, a silent battle no one saw. You tried to fit in. You tried to stay quiet. You tried to dim your light so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable around your fire. But today, something shifts. You felt it, haven't you? That invisible restraint, that unseen force that tried to delay you, tried to distract you, tried to convince you that you were ordinary, but you were never ordinary. You were contained, and containment is not the same as weakness. Right now, in this very moment, the chains holding you back are breaking, not slowly, not quietly, but violently, spiritually, irreversibly. This message found you because you are ready, and once you see this truth, you will never go back to sleep again. The burden of being different. From childhood, you felt different, like you were observing the world instead of belonging to it. Your mind questioned everything. Your heart felt everything. While others followed trends, you searched for meaning. While others chased noise, you listened to silence. They called you too sensitive, too intense, too quiet, too much. But what they labeled as flaws were actually signs. Signs of awareness, signs of depth, signs of spiritual calling. You weren't designed to blend in. You were designed to awaken. Being chosen does not mean being privileged. It means being tested. You carried battles in your spirit long before you understood why. You experienced betrayal that shaped you, isolation that strengthened you, delays that prepared you. Every struggle was sharpening you. Every rejection was redirecting you. Every setback was building endurance inside your soul. The silent war against your light. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. When you carry light, darkness reacts. You noticed it, the strange resistance when you tried to elevate, the sudden conflicts when you decided to grow, the people who became uncomfortable when you started speaking your truth. It wasn't random. There is a silent war against awakened minds. Society prefers sleepers. It prefers followers. It prefers people who never question the system. But a chosen one questions everything. A chosen one feels when something is off. A chosen one cannot pretend forever. That's why you were pressured to shrink, to stay small, to not think too deep, to not dream too big. Because your expansion threatens systems built on control. But chains only exist to be broken, and yours are cracking right now. Signs you were never meant to stay bound. You outgrew environments quickly. You felt drained around negativity. You needed alone time to recharge. You had vivid dreams, intuitive flashes, gut feelings that were almost prophetic. You sensed things before they happened. You felt people's intentions without words. You saw through masks. And that ability isolated you because not everyone can handle someone who sees truth clearly. You went through seasons of deep loneliness, not because you were unworthy, but because your spirit was being recalibrated. Chosen ones are separated before they are elevated. You were hidden, not forgotten, prepared, not punished, refined, not rejected. And now the preparation phase is ending. The breaking point. There comes a day when pressure turns into power. The same chains that once restricted you begin to shatter under the strength you developed in silence. The anxiety transforms into awareness. The pain transforms into purpose. The fear transforms into fire. You are not the same person you were last year. You feel it. You respond differently now. You tolerate less. You see clearer. You speak stronger. That is not ego. That is awakening. The breaking you experienced was not destruction. It was reconstruction. The universe had to remove the weak foundation so your real identity could emerge. You thought you were falling apart, but you were breaking free. No more restraint. This is the shift, the moment restraint loses its grip. You are no longer asking for permission. No longer shrinking for comfort. No longer silencing your intuition. You are stepping into alignment. When a chosen one stops doubting themselves, everything changes. Opportunities appear. Clarity sharpens. Energy rises. The same world that once resisted you begins to rearrange itself around your confidence. Because power recognizes power. And you are remembering yours. Embrace the awakening. Do not fear this next chapter. It will feel unfamiliar, bigger, faster, brighter, but that discomfort is expansion. Walk boldly now, speak truthfully now, create fearlessly now. The chains are breaking today, not tomorrow, not someday, today. If this message resonates deep in your spirit, don't ignore it. Like this video to seal the energy. Comment, "I am free," to declare your breakthrough. Share your experience below so others know they are not alone. And subscribe to Chosen Wave to stay aligned with your awakening journey. Chosen One, the restraint is over. The silence is over. The waiting is over. Your time has begun. The energy shift you've been feeling. Lately, something feels different. Subtle but undeniable. You wake up with a new awareness. Old fears don't hit the same. Old triggers don't control you the same. Situations that once broke you now barely shake you. That is not coincidence. That is evolution. When chains break, there is an internal earthquake. You may feel restless, emotional, detached from people you once clung to. That's because your spirit is recalibrating to a higher frequency. You are not losing people. You are losing alignment with what no longer matches your destiny. The isolation was your training ground. There were nights you cried alone, days you felt misunderstood, conversations where you stayed silent because you knew they wouldn't understand your depth. But isolation was never punishment, it was training. When you are chosen, you are often separated before you are elevated. You had to learn to stand alone so you would never beg for validation again. You had to learn your own voice so you wouldn't be controlled by noise. The world tried to make you doubt yourself, but in solitude, your inner compass grew stronger. Now you don't need approval. You need alignment. And that changes everything. Why the resistance was so strong. Have you ever wondered why your path felt harder than others? Why doors closed in your face at the last second? Why friendships dissolved when you started leveling up? Why opportunities came with unusual tests? Because when you carry potential that can influence others, you are tested differently. Resistance measures capacity. The stronger the opposition, the greater the assignment attached to your life. Average lives don't face extraordinary spiritual warfare. You are resisted because you are significant. And now that significance can no longer be contained. Your voice is activating. There is a shift happening in your throat chakra, in your expression, in your courage. You used to overthink before speaking. Now truth rises naturally. You used to stay quiet to keep peace. Now you understand that peace built on silence is prison. Your voice carries frequency. When you speak from alignment, people feel it. Some will be inspired, some will be triggered. Both are signs of impact. You are no longer here to be liked by everyone. You are here to awaken the right ones. An awakening always disrupts comfort. The identity upgrade. The old version of you is dissolving. The people pleaser. The over-explainer. The one who shrank to avoid attention. That version served its purpose. It survived, it endured, it learned. But it cannot step into your next level. There is a new presence in you now. Calm but powerful, quiet but intense, observant but fearless. You don't need to prove anything anymore. Your energy speaks before you do. This is what happens when chains break. You stop performing and start embodying. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you always were before fear shaped you. The fear of expansion. Growth is beautiful, but it is also terrifying. Because expansion means visibility, responsibility, influence. It means being seen fully, and being seen requires vulnerability. Part of you wants the breakthrough. Another part wants safety. That internal tug-of-war is normal. But here is the truth. Safety kept you small. Expansion will set you free. The fear you feel is not a warning. It is a doorway. And chosen ones were never meant to live in small rooms. The divine timing was perfect. You used to ask, why not sooner? Why didn't things happen when you were begging for change? Why did doors stay closed when you felt ready? Because you weren't being delayed, you were being developed. If the chains had broken before you built emotional strength, you would have misused your freedom. If success came before maturity, it would have destroyed you. Timing protected you. Now you are stronger, more aware, less naive. You see manipulation clearly. You recognize distractions quickly. You value your energy deeply. Now freedom won't corrupt you. It will elevate you. The people who tried to limit you. Some limitations didn't come from strangers. They came from people close to you. Family members who projected fear. Friends who mocked your dreams. Partners who felt threatened by your growth. They weren't always evil. Sometimes they were just unconscious. But unconscious people often resist awakened ones. When you start evolving, you remind others of what they refuse to confront within themselves. Your courage exposes their comfort zones. And instead of rising with you, some try to pull you back. But chains placed by others break the same way self-doubt does, through awareness. You see clearly now, and once you see clearly, control disappears. The power of detachment. One of the biggest signs your chains are breaking is detachment. You are no longer emotionally controlled by outcomes. You are no longer desperate for validation. You are no longer terrified of being alone. Detachment does not mean you don't care. It means you trust. You trust that what is aligned will stay. What is misaligned will leave. What is meant for you will find you without you chasing it in exhaustion. This calm confidence is dangerous to systems built on fear. Because a chosen one who is detached cannot be manipulated. And manipulation was the chain that once held you tight. Now it has no grip. The awakening of your inner authority. For so long, you looked outside for answers. Advice, signs, permission. You respected mentors, listened to opinions, considered every perspective, but deep down there was always a whisper inside you that knew better. That whisper is getting louder now. It's no longer a suggestion, it's a command, a steady inner authority that says, trust yourself. You feel it when something is wrong. You feel it when something is aligned. You don't need 10 confirmations anymore. The chains once made you second-guess your instincts. Now your instincts are your compass. You are stepping into self-trust, and self-trust is spiritual power. The death of the old narrative. There was a story you carried about yourself. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. People leave anyway. That story wasn't truth. It was programming, built from childhood wounds, built from failed relationships, built from moments where you blamed yourself for things you never controlled. But something powerful is happening now. You are rewriting your identity. You're starting to say, I am capable. I am chosen. I am guided. I am protected. And when your internal narrative shifts, your external reality follows. Chains are not only physical, they are mental, emotional, spiritual. And the mental chains are snapping first. The uncomfortable growth phase. Freedom doesn't feel peaceful at first. It feels unfamiliar. You might feel like you don't fit anywhere right now. Not in your old circles, not fully in your new environment. It's like standing between two worlds. That's the transformation zone. Caterpillars don't recognize themselves in the cocoon, and butterflies don't go back to crawling. You are in that in-between phase where identity is reshaping. Don't panic if things feel unstable. Unstable foundations are being removed, so stable power can be built. Discomfort is confirmation that evolution is happening. And evolution always shakes the structure before it strengthens it. Your energy is becoming magnetic. Have you noticed something strange? People are either drawn to you intensely or they avoid you completely. There's rarely a middle ground. That's because your energy is sharpening. When you stop pretending, your frequency becomes clear. Those aligned feel safe around you. Those hiding feel exposed around you. You're not trying to intimidate anyone. You're just standing in authenticity. Authenticity is magnetic. You don't need to chase attention anymore. Presence does the work. The calmer you become, the more powerful you appear. Chains break quietly at first. Then the glow becomes undeniable. You are never meant to be controlled. Control thrives on insecurity. As long as you doubted yourself, you were easy to influence, easy to guilt, easy to manipulate. But once self-awareness enters the room, control loses its power. This is your moment, not next week, not someday, right now. If you felt this in your chest, if your spirit reacted, if something inside you said, "This is me," don't scroll away and go back to sleep. Declare it. Comment, "I am unchained," if you are ready to step into your power. Let the world see that you are no longer shrinking. Let the algorithm carry your declaration to other chosen ones who need this confirmation. Hit the like button to seal this breakthrough in your energy. When you like this video, you're not just supporting content, you're affirming your awakening. And subscribe to Chosen Wave right now. This isn't just a channel, it's a frequency, it's a movement, it's a gathering place for the awakened who refuse to stay small. Ask yourself this: are you going to step back into comfort? Or are you finally ready to walk in your calling without restraint? The chains are broken. The silence is over. Your power is active. Chosen one, what will you do with it?